Well, today we're going to begin our talk about circles, and we're going to first talk about circles that are in the coordinate plane, so the xy plane, and we're going to talk about their equations. So we'll have an equation that represents a circle in the coordinate plane, and it's this one right here. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And these are the pieces of the formula. R represents the radius, so just the part that is r. So this is the radius squared over here. And hk represent the center of the circle. So in order to graph a circle or talk about a circle in the coordinate plane, you need to know two things. You need to know its radius, and you need to know the coordinates of its center. And notice that h and k here are positive. H represents the x value of the center, k represents the y value. And then notice in the equation there's a minus there. So if you see the equation of a circle and there's a minus sign in between the x and the number and the y and whatever this number is, that's because the center has positive coordinates. If there's a plus sign there, that means that h or k was a negative number. And we'll see examples of that. So here's just an idea of a circle in the coordinate plane. I have the center, that's hk. In this case, my hk, the center is -6, -2. And r, that's my radius. In this case, my radius is 1, 2, 3, 4 units. And we'll draw some circles later. We can just put the center on, use the radius, and then we'll just do the best we can to draw a circle. But let's first try a problem like this. I'm giving you the equation of a circle, and I want to pull out from it what the radius is and where the center is located. So I'll always start like I do whenever I have a formula or an equation. I'll use it to help me. So I like to write it right above or right below the equation of the circle, and then I can line things up. I can see I have -3 here, and that lines up with my h. Since these are both minus signs, that means that h is +3. I have a +2 where k is. Since it's a plus here, that means that k is negative. So this means that my center is at 3, -2. Over here, right where the r squared belongs, I have just 9. So I can write a quick equation that r squared is equal to 9. To get rid of the square over there, I square root both sides. And I'll find that the radius of this circle is 3. So if I use the general equation of a circle and I write it near the equation that I'm given, I can use it to help me find the center and the radius. So I'm going to do that again. I'll write the equation of a circle. I see that h should be +4 since there's both minus signs there, and that k should be +16 since they're both minus signs. So it's a little counterintuitive. It's not exactly how you think it would work. So that means my center is 4, 16. Here, r squared is equal to 11 squared, so I can set up an equation again to find r, or I can see that after I square root both sides, the squareds go away, and I'm left with r is equal to 11. So I could have just seen that r squared and 11 squared, they both had squared, so r is 11. So pause here, and I want you to find the center and the radius of this circle. You should start by writing the equation of a circle. It's one you got to know. Since I have a +1 here, that means that h was -1, and a -7 here means that k is +7, which gives me a center of -1, 7. I could set up r squared equal to 144, square root both sides, and find out that the radius is 12. So we can do the exact opposite. We can take a radius and a center, we can write the equation of a circle. So just the opposite of what we just did. But again, I'll start with the equation. I can plug in the x value of the center, which is h, -3. The value for k is 9, and then r is 5. And then all I'm going to do is do some simplifying. I'm going to make that minus -3 a plus. And I'm going to make 5 squared 25. If you want to fill 5 squared like this I have in green, that would be totally fine too. Let's do the same thing for this information. Again, I'm writing the equation, so now I just have to plug in the correct numbers. 0 goes in for h, -2 goes in for k, and 6 goes in for r. X minus 0 just leaves me with 0, so I'm just going to write x squared for that. My minus -2 becomes plus 2, and I can write 6 squared as 36. So whenever you see just x squared or y squared, that means that h or k is 0. So go ahead and pause here, and I want you to write the equation of the circle with radius 8 and center 5, -7. So you should start with the equation, and then we're just plugging in 5 for h, -7 for k, and 8 for r, and we'll simplify to get that. So we can also graph these circles if we're given the equation or we're given the radius and the center. And we do that by first graphing the center of the circle. So the center of this circle, I'll use my highlighter, is -3, -2. So there's my center. And then I can get 4 more points on this circle by using the radius. And I do that by looking and seeing the radius is 5, so I'll start at the center. And the radius of a circle is the distance from the center to the circle. So I can just count up, down, left, and right, 5 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a point on my circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a point on my circle. So I'm finding 4 points that are 5 units away from my center. And then you can sort of sketch the circle. I'll make it look nice because I have the ability to use this tool. There's my circle that has a center of -3, -2, and has a radius of 5. So again, the radius is the distance from the center to any point on the circle. So we'll do that again. If I have a center of 0, -2, it's right there. My radius is 6, so I can find 4 points that are 6 units away from the center really easily. There's one. There's another. Third one. There's my 4th one. And again, you can just sketch the best you can a circle. I'll use this tool. And there's my circle that has a center of 0, -2, and a radius of 6. So pause and graph this circle. So my center is at -1, -1. I have a radius of 8. So I have 4 points 8 units away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This should be a pretty big circle. And again, you can just sketch. I'll use the circle tool, and there it is. So it'd be very difficult for me to have you write an equation of a circle or graph an equation of a circle in the coordinate plane for a u-do. So I just want you to look at this equation right here, and I want you to find the radius, so tell me what the radius is, and then tell me the coordinates of the center. Make sure you use parentheses when you give me the coordinates for the center. Whoops. Too many circles. And I'll answer questions in class and we'll talk about it.